Hi everyone, this is Samit from TalksOnGround. How are you? Been a while since we discussed the situation in the US, especially with the incoming president, Donald Trump. So there are now less than 30 days to go before he takes up the presidency. And I think in the last 2 months, a lot of tumultuous events have happened. And one has to think that his path for the first 1 year or maybe at least 6 months has been really made difficult by whatever has happened in the world in the last 6 weeks. There have been events in the Middle East. There's an escalation in Ukraine and Russia. There's an escalation and ongoing issues with the situation in Bangladesh. There have been some statements he's made about tariffs, so economic issues are going to flare up anyways when he comes in. So there is a lot that's going to happen when he comes in, and it's a major event. I feel that when the history is written, a few decades or at least years later, this January 20th, 2025 will be a pivotal event. And his presidency will not be decided by, how good he was, will not be decided whether he brought the Russia-Ukraine war to a stop or whether he was able to get back all the hostages for Israel. It'll also not be about economic growth or, the India-China issue individually and together. It'll not be any of these things. It'll really be about whether he can address and make sure he can put the deep state in the place where it belongs. And I'm not saying it. This is what Donald Trump has been talking about, and his other leaders in his group have been talking about all day for the last 3, 4, 5 months in the campaign. So one has to wonder what this grouping will do. The deep state will do to stop him from doing what he plans to do. And the appointments have not been to their liking, especially one of Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Tulsi Gabbard is a major problem for the so-called deep state because Tulsi Gabbard will be heading the national intelligence. So she will be privy to a lot of information that which then get filtered to the president. And she can bring about a lot of changes in the way these organizations are run, and that'll definitely be a problem for anyone who wants to kind of continue the way things were when Trump was not around. And Tulsi has a great record in terms of, or rather, the CV that she brings in. She's been in the armed forces. She's a nationalist to the core. I don't think she is involved in any lobby groups, so she doesn't really come in with any baggage whatsoever. And she's made her intentions very clear as to what she wants to do. So this is scaring the wits out of the deep state. They are not so opposed to Elon Musk as they are to Tulsi Gabbard. And Elon Musk they can still handle because he has a lot of things they can hurt, including Tesla and Starlink and so on. And they are trying to do that. Let's see what happens in the next 37 days, or rather 27 days. So, before he gets to power. So, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult 27 days because they will try to, put some landmines to make sure Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, or Tulsi Gabbard, all of these people trip on. And one has to see, one has to say that this is a very polarized time. Some thought that there'll be a lot of violence after the results. That has not happened. In fact, the violence happened against Trump even before the elections were held. So, in a way, that has been averted for now. But the way things are escalating in terms of what's happening in Ukraine and the Middle East is not funny. I mean, anything can happen in the next 3, 4 months. And there's a real danger of some sort of a beginning of what people later on could call World War III. So I really think Donald Trump will have his hands full. Uh, mm, financial watchers, economic students, and so on, or even finance ministers around the world are really worried what Donald Trump will do in terms of tariffs. And still, tariffs are manageable compared to sanctions. And I think China is worried, and the rhetoric that's coming out of there is more mellowed compared to his first term. And they know that this guy means business. He's not up for sale. He's himself a rich man, and he knows how the system works. He had one term, so I think they're really wary. But surprisingly, it is Donald Trump who's making some conciliatory noises to the Chinese. And he's not doing the same to the Indians, by the way. So it's interesting times. One doesn't know what goes on behind the scenes, and what deals are stuck, and what Donald Trump might want to do when he comes, on 20th January. So these are very, very interesting times. I want to know what will happen. How do you see the days until he's elected, and then the first 100 days when he's elected? I think these 125, 130 days are very, very important. Till March end or something like that. Very, very pivotal times, and will be very interesting to see which side, which country, and which grouping falls. Will be interesting to see what happens in the oil market. Will be interesting to see what happens in the stock market. There was a crash recently in the US stock market because the rate cut was there, but the Fed said that they'll reduce the rates slower than they had announced earlier. Surely they weren't expecting Trump to win. So that's what it is. Very, very interesting times. So let me know your views, and I will surely come back with more and do a deeper dive. I'll bring in an expert. If you have somebody in mind, let me know, and I can connect with them and bring them on board. If any of you listeners or viewers are interested in coming here and sharing your views, you're welcome. You can drop in the a line in the comments, and I will surely connect with you. So thank you for watching, and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family, and like the video. And this is all from my side. This is Samit from Talks on Ground. Goodbye and good evening.